And buddy, I've got a really interesting topic of beer discussion for you now. All right, so everybody sit by your beer fires, pour yourself out a Guinness, and put your beer thinking cap on. As a big fan, I mean, I really like Guinness Draught, and you especially are a massive fan of Guinness Draught, even more so than I am. The cans of Guinness Draught are one of your go-tos at home and have been for almost as long as I've known it. We've met having a pint of Guinness Draught in Dublin. I mean, it's just been a part of the fabric of our friendship. So if anybody's going to be speaking to Guinness Draught in this context, I think we're very suited to do so. So I've got a beer question for you, buddy.
I'm ready.
In 2025, would you say that Guinness Draught is either underrated or overrated? And why?
That's a very good beer question, my friend. Mm-hmm. And it's a hard question to answer also.
It is.
Because I think
there's a lot of beer elements at play.
Yeah, agree. Because I think it depends on where you are coming from and where you are in your beer journey. I would say that generally speaking, it might be probably underrated, I think.
That's a bold statement.
I think so. There is a resurge, but I think that a lot of people, at least a lot of people I've met throughout my beer journey, have always associated Guinness with either a celebration for, it could be St. Patrick's Day or going to Ireland or specific occasions. But
exactly.
When it comes,
100%. That's all my friends. That's how they associate it with celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Or you're in an Irish pub, so you get a pint of Guinness.
There you go. Exactly. Right. So it's in that sense, I would say it's not underrated at all. Everybody, that's the go-to, right? If you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day or you're going to an Irish pub, you're probably going to get a Guinness because it's what you do there. However,
it's what you do there.
It's what you do there. But and that's where the conversation changes a little bit when it comes to what is a go-to of yours. My personal experience has always been that aside from people from Ireland, of course, that are slightly biased.
Slightly.
When you mention I actually one of my go-to is Guinness. And it's a Guinness. And they say well, if it's very hot outside, I don't want to drink that. Or if it's this or that, and there's excuses start to come up, right?
Right.
And especially I would say in the craft beer community, there's that's a macro beer and etc. I've heard this coming many times.
Exactly.
So I guess it depends, but in general, every time I say Guinness is one of my favorite beers and it's my go-to, I found few times aside from Irish people that say, oh, well, that makes sense. So that's why I say that I think it's underrated. Because I think it has a lot of depth of flavor. It's easy drinking. Yeah. It's extremely accessible. It's anywhere you go around the world, you can probably find a pint of Guinness in a pub, or at least you can find the cans.
You know what? I'll make a comparison here, and this comparison might not be. It might not ring true with everybody, or you might not fully get the reference that I'm trying to make here. But I think for the people who do get it, this is going to be spot on for you because I think it is too. Guinness Draught is to craft beer drinkers what Metallica is to really hardcore heavy metal fans. And because I see this all the time, I see online, in the past couple of years, Metallica's had a bit of a resurgence with the younger music fans. And when the song Master of Puppets was in Stranger Things a couple of years ago, it had a bit of a resurgence with young fans. And so I see kids posting about it online on Instagram Reels and stuff like that all the time. And the comments are all the same. Oh, Metallica's not real heavy metal. They sold out of the Black Album, this and that. And I think craft beer drinkers look at Guinness the same way. It's a big, successful brand, and it produces a more subtle version of something you really like and something that you take pride in appreciating more complex versions of. And I think there's a lot of people who are passionate about things, specifically beer, who look at something like Guinness and say, well, hey, my local craft brewery makes this amazing, really complex, dark stout. And that's what a stout should be. That's a real stout. Guinness tastes like water. That's nothing. There's that perspective on it that I see a lot. Everybody's opinions are valid, and music has that. Any form of art has that. I'm sure people who love movies have that same perspective. People who are big fans of art house independent movies are going to look at big blockbusters and say, that's garbage, right? But there's something there that makes it as popular as it is. There's a reason why it's so palatable to so many people. And that's the thing. That's the thing that if you can't get over that, then you're never going to appreciate it. But you and I think we've always shared this in common, where we're able to look at Guinness and we're able to say, sure, you can, like one of our beers on our Perfect Beer Roundtable, the Innocent Gun Irish Whiskey Cask, that's a much more complex craft barrel-aged stout that all sits alongside Guinness Draught on our Perfect Beer Roundtable, by the way. We appreciate both equally. But Guinness Draught, what it offers is a balance and a subtlety that so far for us, and I don't want to speak for you, buddy, but for me, is unmatched.
I agree.
Just the right amount of flavor.
I agree.
Just the right amount of an aroma. Just the right amount of an aftertaste. It's refreshing, but it's also filling and satisfying. It's not too light. And there's a whole ceremony around it, whether you're getting it poured on tap or whether you're pouring it out of a can and arguing what's the best way to pour it out of a can and trying to get the perfect pour and, minimize the bubbles in the head. You're proud of yourself when you pour it. Well, there's this ceremony to it as well. So to answer the question, long story short, I would say that it is perfectly rated. I think that it's a global phenomenon. Everybody knows Guinness all around the world. It's drank in the Caribbean. It's drank in Africa. It's drank all over North America and Europe, and for a good reason. People don't like it for their own reasons. People love it for their own reasons, but it has the appeal and it achieves something that no other beer has matched. And it's not just the taste of the beer. It's not just the beer itself. It's the marketing. People hate on the marketing. It's like, oh, it's all marketing. It's the only reason you like it. That's part of it. It's part of the experience. It's part of any beverage, any food. When you go to a fine dining restaurant, right? The atmosphere that you're sitting in is part of the experience. The way the waiter presents the food and talks about it, the story behind it, that's part of the experience and the enjoyment of the food. Why can't the same thing apply to a drink? Yeah, the pomp and circumstance, the urban legends around Guinness, that's all part of it. That's all part of the beautiful experience that is this drink that you can enjoy. So I would say it's perfectly rated.
I like the way you think, my friend. Like, perfectly rated fits Guinness very well. Obviously, we have ties to it, but we've also rated it as one of our favorite beers, like in all our comparisons. So that makes perfect sense, my friend.
What other beer can you think of where you go to a specific country and you know that having that beer in that country at a certain kind of pub is that much of a destination? It's that much of an attractor to bring you in, to bring tourists in. I mean, again, we met at Temple Bar in Dublin having a pint of Guinness. Yeah. And I was there to watch the band, but I was there to have pints of Guinness too and meet people. But I mean, I was there for the Guinness.
It's just quintessential, and it somehow has managed to not only be a beer phenomenon, but it be a phenomenon that brings people together, but also that focuses not only on the beer itself, but on the experience of being in the pub. Yeah. And being together and being merry. And there's a lot of factors in there. And to your point, it's not only, it's specifically, especially true in Ireland, but not only in Ireland. Yeah. Because, and that's like St. Patrick's Day is a prime example. You go to an Irish pub, or any time of year, really, you go to an Irish pub, and if there's a kind of bit of a celebration going, like Guinness is flowing and everybody's happy and merry. Yeah. So, like, specifically when it comes down to the beer experience, just like you described, like, there's a lot of thought put into that, like the way it's poured, the presentation, and all of those factors that, like, unfortunately, like, I would say luckily, they play a role and make the experience what it is.
100%. And I've seen people criticize that before. I've actually, one of the comments on one of our Guinness videos was something along these lines where and like I said, it's like, oh, it's not even just a beer, it's just a marketing campaign, implying that the marketing is why people love it so much. Well, answer me this. If it's that easy, why doesn't every beer do that? If it's as easy to just put together a good marketing campaign and push it out and create these games like Splitting the G, and it's so easy to create this cultural phenomenon that Guinness has become, why hasn't any other brand done it to the same extent? I think the reason is that, yes, it's very clever marketing. We know personally, we've talked to people who work at Diageo. We know how much effort and time and how is put into it and how much they value their history and how carefully they care after the brand. But it's a combination of very clever marketing, but of really good beer as well. That's what I think.
You gotta have the good beer, otherwise everything else doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, cheers, everybody. That was fun, man.
It was a
blast.
very in-depth beer question. Very good question, my friend. Yeah. Very well picked.
Can't take credit for that. Those two beer brains coming together for that one. Let us know down below, everybody, what you think. Is Guinness Draught overrated, underrated? Do you love it? Are you sick of it? Let us know down below what you think. There are no wrong answers in this kind of thing. It's all subjective. Everybody has their opinions. And whatever you do,
don't forget to close your beer brackets.
Never forget. Open and close with a Guinness. Why not? Cheers.
Sláinte.